In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of palms and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and we call it Best Gen because we're all más o menos from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we're better than you, but because our movies certainly were. So strap on in, prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore, while simultaneously complaining about the dumb stuff that Hollywood keeps making. But there's not a lot to complain about this week, because we've got two good shows to discuss.
Yeah.
Mexa is still struggling with his computer, and I don't know if he's going to be able to join us tonight. He's here trying to join, and his mic's not working. So we'll see if he gets that fixed.
Mexa, we just need to get you here in the U.S. with more reliable internet.
I know. We need to find him if any of you have like a sister or a cousin, we need to find the Mexa a nice young woman to marry. So
Get his visa. Jared, you're muted.
Jared's muted. Yeah, we've got sorry, I'm exhausted today. I've been remodeling the kitchen before my wife gives birth, which is a week from today.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to finish. So I'm just physically exhausted, but we're on the home stretch. I'm almost done remodeling. Just gotta mud and sand and paint, and then put in the new floors and trim, and I'm done. It sounds like a lot of things, but it's because it is a lot of things.
Yep.
And I, if I don't finish it, then I'm a dead man.
Did you get the framing of the pantry done?
Yeah. That framing would come before mud, wouldn't it? You dummy.
Correct.
This is why David's wife doesn't count on him to remodel his kitchen.
Yeah, we don't have a lot we can do with our kitchen unless we break out the back wall and expand into our backyard.
Yeah, that'd be pretty extensive. Well, so I apologize if I'm a bit lethargic. I'm just physically exhausted. We've got The Devil's Hour to talk about, seasons 1 and 2. Jared finished the first season, so we can talk about that, and then he can peace out later.
Okay.
We've got
it. I am.
Hey, no, it's a bit.
Sorry.
We got The Penguin, which we're a week late on, and Vox Machina, which I have not had time to finish. But
I finished
you guys have said it's pretty good. So
yeah.
Should we talk Vox Machina first? Just
sure.
Yeah. It ended this week, right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Good.
It started out a little bit, fetch questy like the first season.
A little bit.
But it got a lot better, I think.
It was like a nested fetch quest. They're like, you got to go get this thing. Oh, but it's not here. You got to go to this place to get the thing so you can get the thing. Yep. And then you need the thing to open the thing that releases the other thing so that you can get the thing that you originally wanted to get.
Yeah. But it was really good. There's some great character development, some great things. I do have, again, it comes back to this being a rendition of a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
So there's some things that happen in the end that I think story-wise, for a better story, I would have made different decisions.
Really? Well, they
And-
did make different decisions actually. If you want to talk about the big spoiler, that wasn't the finale, but the character who gets killed off.
Oh, okay.
They pretty much immediately resurrected him in the campaign because
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to play
Right.
so
Yeah.
but they decided to leave him dead longer in the show, I guess.
For like
2 episodes.
episode and a half, yeah. So, but the way it gets resolved is fine.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been more emotionally better for a narrative if he didn't come back. But of course, they can't do that.
That's also the
up.
problem with the D&D setting in general, is that you've got all these magics, you can just bring people back from the dead. It's kind of hard to have big
actual
stakes.
Yeah.
Which totally makes sense if you're playing, with friends.
Right.
Although I like, if a character dies, unless I can think of a really cool reason to bring him back, like, just make a new character. Just roll a new character. Half of the fun of D&D is just coming up with another stupid character, okay?
Right, exactly.
You just got to roll with the punches, okay?
Yeah. My
You
favorite
got to know when to kill him.
An elf that had an aversion to the longbow and preferred crossbows. It was pretty fun.
That was pretty good.
But yeah, so other than that,
the best thing I've ever done. I've told you my D&D, right? I've had a lot of cool, fun characters, but the best character I've ever done was I played an entire village with the DM's permission. Like, we planned this out.
Yeah.
I played an entire village of gnomes. But one at a time, because the gimmick was I wanted them to die and just send the next gnome, and so I was a gnome paladin, and my god was one of the other players in the game.
Yeah, you told me that. I remember.
He like came to the village and like saved this relic, the Urn of Vaskir, and it fulfilled prophecy, and so he became our deity, and it's pretty brilliant.
That's pretty fun.
Is David going to play the Mass Effect board game?
I've heard good things about that.
I didn't know I was thinking about that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a big sprawling campaign game, and that's the problem. There's so many campaign games right now, and
That's a lot of money.
I have no time. It's really a lot of money. They have amazing miniatures, but if you want to get all of it, it's a good $300 for all the stuff, and then it's this huge sprawling campaign. I'm like, I don't have time for that. But yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making a lot of board games based on video games these days, and some of them are pretty good.
I kind of want to replay Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3, because I played them out of order. I played 3 first, and then I played 1 and 2, so I never got like the full immersion thing.
Yeah.
And it'd be fun. I also don't have time. So like I feel like the only way I could justify doing it is if I was streaming it. And I don't know if that would be entertaining, but it could be. Cuz I have a tendency to just search every corner, loot everything, and
that's not very good for playthroughs.
That's not good content, It's me opening up every box, gathering every flower, because I'm anal about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried so hard to just play games just to get it done, and I can't do it. I want to explore everywhere. I want to unlock everything. Anyways,
pronouns involved apparently
in the Mass Effect game.
Oh, and you're the psychopath. Yeah, right. For reading them out of order. Okay, I didn't own all the games. I'm sorry. Games are a little bit more expensive than books.
And video games are a little bit different too. So,
and they totally build Mass Effect 3 like you could just start from there. Okay,
right. That's widely regarded by many as the best in the series, right? So, but anyway, where were we before Mark derailed us yet again?
I don't know. I kind of liked Andromeda too. I know a lot of people hated it, but I actually kind of thought it was fun.
I think the complaint was just they made everybody ugly in that game.
Anyways, Vox Machina. That's what it was.
Maxima,
Yeah. It was really fun. I really liked it. There
I'm
was some
glad.
good stuff this time around, and
Definitely going to get around to it. I just,
yeah.
my wife is more important right now.
Yeah.
So,
So that's that. I don't really have much more to say about it, but it was really good.
cool. Yeah, and there's barely any news to cover too because I haven't had any downtime, so I haven't been on my phone. But we got 3 fun little musicals. If I can
Let's
pull
do
it
it.
up. Where is it? Where's the screen? Here we go. See, Mark Clark liked Andromeda too. Yeah, I haven't. I never played that one though. So,
Best.
all right. No one's watching Agatha all along, right?
No, dude, the commercials look so
No,
bad.
I definitely haven't.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that screenshot. What the hell is that? Oh my gosh.
That's a boy becoming a man. There is what it is. It's Billy Maximoff as Maleficent. Apparently, I don't have anything to say about this. I just laughed, and yeah, I have no intention of ever watching any of this show. So, but you probably missed the biggest setup. The biggest setup for Rand's greatest weapon in Wheel of Time Season 1. And the reason that you might have missed the setup is because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's because they never mention Kalendor
Oh.
in the show ever.
Yep.
In fact, they
Oh.
mention Tyr once.
I
So-
don't remember them mentioning Tyr at all.
So you probably missed the biggest setup for Rand's greatest weapon.
Is that what they say? They mention Tyr one time in the show?
Yes.
You probably missed it.
Yes. The Stone of Tyr is a key location for Rand's journey in book 3. Right. And they already and they're saying they might
Skipping it is-
most people
is
are
this
guessing
by
most people are guessing they're going to skip Tyr because that's what the showrunner has said. He said they're adapting book 4, so they're going to the Aiel Waste in Ruidion and not Tyr. And also because they already they already brought the Aiel to Falma
Yeah.
instead of Tyr, like they're supposed to do in book 3.
Yeah.
So they're obviously skipping Tyr.
Either that or it's going to be in the cold open of the next season and then never
But don't-
mention it again.
But don't worry, there are ways to adapt the show. There are ways for the show to adapt without moving Kalendor and maintaining the story's integrity.
I mean, I suppose he gets
Honestly, it
Kalendor
could be.
and then he
I think you
leaves
might
it
be
for a
right.
while.
It could be an episode 1 thing. They
Yeah.
they show up in Tyr with all of the, like, I have a huge time gap between 2 and 3.
Yep.
In episode 1, they show up in Tyr with all of the Aiel, conquer Tyr, and say, "Okay, I've fulfilled the prophecy for the Dragon Reborn." And then the rest of the season is going to be book 4.
Yep.
You might be right about that.
And I could even see them just being the first 10 minutes of the first episode or something, you know.
The wheel.
Either that or they could
guys.
just
The Stone of Tyr exists. Okay, it's definitely in the show. They mentioned it once. Oh, I hate this
name
show.
dropped by a dark fin.
I'm reading Lord of Chaos, right? I'm halfway through Lord of Chaos.
That's
I forgot how
6?
much I like this book. Yeah,
Is that 5 or 6?
it's
I think that's the last one I read before I started reading Stormlight.
it's 6. Yeah.
Finished Stormlight. Yeah, that's the last one I read. That was good.
Beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I like book 5 better. but book 6 has the best ending, but I forgot how much I liked the rest of book 6, just because the ending stands out so much. That's the only part of the book you remember. The rest of the book's good too. I'm really liking it so far.
Yeah.
So, and rereading Wheel of Time is better than reading it the first time, and better than watching the show ever. So, the Penguins viewership is doing something rather stunning for HBO. Actually, it's people are watching it.
Yep.
David, you sent me this article. I skimmed it.
Yeah.
But it sounded like all the article was saying is, "Hey, people are watching a show because it's good."
Yes, and not only are they watching the show, but we've been talking about all these shows that the viewership is dropping 15 to 20% from the premiere episodes to the next week. The Penguin has consistently increased viewership every single week, which is unheard of these days for any TV show. Not only that, it's based on a superhero.
I mean, HBO just did that with House of the Dragon, though. So
true, right? You know, but they are few and far between as far as shows go these days. But you know, everybody's complaining. Oh, the reason why they're not watching Marvel is because of superhero fatigue, guys. We don't like these shows that are based on comics because everyone's seen them. We're so tired of them. No, we just want good, well-written stories.
Mark,
right?
I'm currently juggling 5 different books. Okay. I'm reading Lord of Chaos in the downtime between Dungeon Crawler Carl streams. I'm also halfway done with Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 3, even though we just streamed that Friday. I'm actually 60% of the way through. So because I'm responsible, I'm waiting to read the next book until I do the stream. I'm the only one on the panel with self-control. They're all reading ahead. But yeah, so I finished the dungeon book, and while I'm waiting for the stream to happen, I'm going to Lord of Chaos so I can participate with Nerdporial's book club. But I was waiting for an invite I thought we were going to stream today, but I never got. You never set it up, so probably streaming next Sunday. That too.
I'm also reading that one though too, Mark Clark. So I'm on it.
Dungeon Carl.
Yeah, just finished book 2. So
Dungeon Caller Carl.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good book.
I need to read those. They've been recommended in my feed every time I finish an Audible for a while.
And then I'm also reading The Naked Communist. If my dad is in the room with me, helping me, because he's helping do some of the construction, we listen to The Naked Communist on the speaker when we're working together.
Nice.
So,
that's dense.
It's one of the most important books. It's very relevant. You should definitely read it.
Yeah. I've read lots of parts of it. I have not read the whole thing through, though.
The newest one is pretty good. Book 7. Yeah. Wait, is it out? Did it come out like yesterday? Maybe. I don't know. I've heard good things. I'm excited for it. So
we're talking Dungeon Crawler, right?
Yeah, Jared started reading Dungeon Crawler Carl too because of me. So you're welcome.
Yep. Let me see. I basically bought all of them.
It is just a sleeper hit. Like, I didn't think everyone recommended it, and I was like, okay, this sounds like it's going to be a fun read. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do. Like, it's not just this is dumb fun. Like, there's heart and soul behind these books too. Like, it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is good writing, like good character work too.
So at least on Audible, it says it comes out on February 11th next year.
Yeah. So the physical book comes out next month or this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it comes out in November.
It's no Lightbringer though. You got that right.
Yeah.
It's no Lightbringer. Oh.
But at the same time though, like I am surprised because it is like it's obviously a dungeon crawler kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But he does bring a lot of like deep philosophical
Oh,
questions.
dude, it gets
into the
awesome.
discussion. So
it is. They are shockingly good,
yeah,
and it's one of those like. It's funny. It's a book that you can absolutely judge by its cover, but also not. Like you're getting what's on the cover. That's what you're
exactly.
getting, but it's also way more than that. So,
Nice.
highly recommend them.
Well,
I'm enjoying the heck out of those.
I will have to pick those up. I started listening to the White Sands dramatic
Oh,
dramatic presentation on Audible because they were free this month, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh.
that's freaking awesome!" So I listened to the first one.
they
and then I
dramatized
started
the
the White
comics.
Sands comic. Yeah, they did a
Have
dramatic.
you read the comics?
No, I've read the.
I read
the-
part 1. I didn't read parts 2 and 3.
Yeah, I've read the first part of part 1 that was in his Arcanium Unbound.
Oh, I read the whole part 1.
But he, so I read I listened to the first chunk of that. I don't know how much of the novel or the thing it covers, and then I went to read the second one, and like it's no longer available for free anymore. I'm like, oh, come on!
Just missed it.
So, yeah.
I have all the
But
comics.
anyways, I'm looking for something else to read, so I might pick up Dungeon Crawler Carl, or I might read the second, the Conqueror's Blood of
Oof,
Gunmetal Gods. I might
both
do that. I'm not sure.
bangers, baby.
Yeah.
So. Oh yeah, we haven't talked about Gunmetal Gods with you yet.
Oh, Gunmetal Gods was so fun. Yeah,
you just finished that, right?
I just finished Gunmetal Gods. It is fantastic.
I keep
And
telling
it was
man, I
not
can't
what
recommend that book enough.
Yeah, it is not what I expected. Even after you
Told you that it wasn't going to be what you expected. Yeah,
I love Lovecraftian eldritch horror stuff, and it was
Yes.
amazing. But this is basically like Arabian Nights meets Lovecraft, but it's told in such an interesting way. I've never read a book like this before, where it's basically like the spark notes of what happens, and everything moves at such a fast pace. You're like, oh, this happened, and it's told in the first person about these grand adventures that happen from mostly from two different viewpoints, back and forth. These two huge mythical entities that are fighting each other. These heroes are one's a hero, one's a villain, but it's just so fascinating. And normally I read books, I listen to books at twice the speed. I could not do that, because if you missed like 2 sentences in this book, you were lost, because so much happens. It's insane. But it was really, really good, really intriguing, fantastic character development, great villain that you were also kind of weirdly rooting for.
yeah.
But not rooting for, because he was a terrible person, but it was just really, really well written. I don't know. I really liked it.
The acquisitioner who I would do the book club streams with, for those when he first started Gunmetal Gods, read the first chapter of Micah the Metal,
Yeah.
and immediately texted me like, "Oh, Micah's my hero. He's my king. He's the best character." And then he read the next chapter and he's like,
Never mind. No. Yeah.
I didn't realize I was rooting for Hitler.
Yeah.
I take back everything I said.
So well done. It was really good, and I'm
It's very
intrigued to see where it goes further, because there's an amazing world that they built,
Yeah.
that Zamil Akhtar has built. And I can't wait to.
I think
continue on with that.
book 2 is an even better book. I think book 2 is it's better written. The ending isn't quite as good. So like the whole book is better, but like the ending of Gunmetal Gods is just poetic.
Oh, it's another thing that, and you and I have talked about this before, but it seems like when this book started, it's all leading up to this big battle, this conflict between these two people,
Right.
and it happens like in the 5th chapter of the book.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, this is very interesting. Where does it go from here? And it's just, yeah, it's unlike anything else I've ever read.
Yeah, it's kind of become a trope for his unintentionally for his books. Like there's the Sanderlanche, right? In Brandon Sanderson books, it all builds up, and then the ending is just go go go.
Yeah.
And it's called the Sanderlanche, and I coined the term. He meant, so it was on Twitter. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
He was like, people keep saying that my books explode in the first third. You know,
Yeah.
there's an explosion, and it's similar to a Sanderlanche, but we need a term for it. And I came up with the term. He's like, that's perfect. That's what we'll call it. I forgot what I called it though. It was the
Yeah, I'm not on the
tsunami
Twitter
or something.
lands.
I'll have to look it up.
Or the
I'll look
X
it up.
lands. I don't know. That's pretty cool though. Yeah, and the author is really awesome. Everything I've heard from him on the his public
He's a cool guy.
yeah, he's a pretty cool, humble, down to earth, cool dude. So, anyway,
Yeah.
just a little
Anyway,
tangent.
the point of the story is that penguins, people are watching the Penguin, right?
Yes,
Got it.
yeah. So viewership went up. I think between the first and second episode, or the first weeks, it went up 17% or something.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, it's gone up like 5 to 7% or something. I don't remember the exact mark. Don't put that on screen.
No. The White Sands. I have all the White Sands books. I haven't gotten around because I'd have to actually sit down and read for once. But I've only read the first part.
It's so hard. I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Once you get on audiobooks, man, it's like
It's
you
really
can't go
hard
back.
to stop.
I agree.
I read books so fast now, which is such a change for me because I used to take, a third of the year to read one book. Anyway.
Should we
yeah,
talk
Penguin.
about the Penguin?
Yeah, let's talk about the Penguin.
Go ahead, Jared.
Well, so I don't know. I kind of felt like this episode, after last episode, like it was good, but it was kind of like a letdown. Like
Really?
like it was a good episode, but after, like, I don't know, just because of how good last episode was, I watched this one and I was like, okay, like it's just kind of subpar. Like he gets his feet back underneath him. Like he has the whole thing with the mushrooms, and he finds a place to start growing them again. And he watches the Maronies get burned alive and stuff. But like,
Yeah.
other than that, you're just like, okay, like, all right, sure.
I don't know.
It wasn't as, it didn't grab me as much as last episode. Last episode, I was so into that episode, and now I'm just kind of like, I get it. Sophia, she's doing her own thing now, and probably next episode will be incredible to kind of see how it ramps up again. But I feel like this one, it was like, woo, and then shut back down, and then maybe it'll go back up. But
I kind of felt the same way. David loved this. David thought this was the best episode.
I really liked it. To be honest, I felt the same way when I first watched it too. But the more I thought about it, I really, really dug this episode.
No, it's good. This episode was not bad.
yeah,
But watching it, I'm enjoying it. I also felt like it was this episode treaded a lot of water. A lot of stuff happened.
yeah.
And then for the last half of the episode, it was kind of just rehashing stuff that had already been done. And I noticed
That's kind of true, yeah.
the writing for the show, it's been really good, but it's also kind of predictable now. Like they'll do something, and then a thing will happen, and then the Penguin talks to, what's the kid's name?
Mike.
That's a good question.
I don't remember. They don't say his
I
name
think it's Mike.
enough. The Penguin talks to the kid and starts telling, the Penguin, in every episode, he goes into some kind of like backstory about when he was a kid, and you're like it's just it feels it's getting a little formulaic, you know. It's like, when I was doing this, and let me tell you this, buddy, and I had to walk uphill both ways, and this and that, and that's why I'm sad, and you can be sad too, but we're gonna pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. It kind of just seems like they do that every time, and it's every time they go into a backstory, it just feels it feels a little repetitive now.
Yeah.
Vic? You think his name is Vic? Probably.
Oh, it's Victor. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Vic or Victor. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's what it is. Most of the time, he does call him Kid though, or Vic.
Yeah, he usually just calls him Kid.
Yeah.
But it's still good stuff. Like I had a problem with the ambush too. Like it ended well with him setting him on fire. That was cool. But also he knew that they were driving into an ambush. And his plan was, well, we're gonna shoot back, right? Like it felt like a really stupid move. Like, yeah, they came out on top, but also it was kind of just luck that they made it out of that. Knowing you're driving it into an ambush and then not having his only clever response was, I'm gonna soak the kid in gasoline. But like he still could have easily just been immediately murked, you know, by the people who pop up and start shooting at him.
Yeah, but
it felt like a dumb decision.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like literally, they send this guy. That's
and the reason why it felt dumb. Sorry, it felt dumb because they hadn't done anything dumb like that up until this episode, and I was like,
yeah,
this feels out of character.
I think that's what it was. It just kind of felt like, I don't know, and maybe it's because of the last episode or what. I don't know what it was, but it did feel like there were a few more misses with this episode.
Yeah.
Like for example, literally like they walk this guy back. They let him walk back to his mom, and gasoline. It reeks of gasoline.
Yeah, like you're gonna smell the kid smells like gasoline.
Too, but it doesn't. It doesn't say that it was gasoline. It could have been, lamp oil or whatever. But
okay. It's still flammable. You're not gonna be like
you're still gonna smell the
gasoline. Like, clearly he's covered in gasoline because they're probably gonna set him on fire. You know, it's like, and plus, even if you're on fire with gasoline, maybe this is just a poor, like an example of their poor like school system. But everybody should know: stop, drop, and roll. Right? Like if you're on fire, you're not gonna keep holding each other. You're gonna stop and you're gonna drop on the ground and you're gonna roll around, try and get it off. Right? Like. And there was none of that. You're just like, okay, all right, like.
No, I hear you there, but I don't know. I felt that this episode was a great return to form with the previous episodes, and maybe it's a little bit repetitive, but I felt like it was what I liked about the previous episodes, where he was, he has a plan, it goes awry, something doesn't happen right, and he makes up for it. Right? He does this trade. He has this plan to knock off the Maronis and shiv Maroni in prison and do this at the same time, and then it goes awry. Then they make it out with the mushrooms, but then most of them are gone. But then he saves some of them, and then Maroni, escapes. And I just really liked it, and I loved the way they ended up there. A slight nod to Penguin's origins, setting up in the sewer. That was fantastic. Now all I need is him doing something with an umbrella. I don't care if it's just gotta stab someone in the eye with the umbrella. I don't care.
I did like
my
that.
life will be complete.
Yeah, I thought that was nice at the end where it's clearly going back to, okay, yeah, this is the Penguin that we know from the comic books and from the show and stuff like that, right? Like this is the character. But yeah, I felt like there were just a few misses. I agree, David, though, that like there were some great points. Right? Like there were some things where it's like, oh, okay, like he didn't actually, get shanked in prison. Like he survived it and he escaped. Oh, and now that's another bad guy he's got to worry about. And so you can definitely start to see these things that he's like are beyond his control that he wasn't expecting, and kind of how he's rolling with it and he's trying to get by. But at the same time, there were parts that like were kind of blatant. Like if you know
Yeah,
that
I
the
agree.
mushrooms are because he was told, hey, these mushrooms have to be kept at a specific temperature, and then he just drove off with
Yeah.
them in the back. Like
Yeah.
he didn't think, oh, I'm gonna grab this cover and come
And
run
he's the
back
one
up.
that started a fire. Like his plan was bad.
Yeah, right. Like so, there's stuff like that where I'm like, okay, this is clearly these are things that like you knew and you probably should have planned for, and yet
Absolutely.
Yeah.
why are you doing that?
Yeah,
So-
you're right.
I miss Eartha Kitt. Says.
That was a short stint with Eartha Kitt, but
Or even who was the white lady who played Catwoman in the movie before the TV
Yeah.
show? 'Cause
well,
they did the Batman movie and then they did the Batman TV show.
yeah,
And Catwoman was white. They race swapped Catwoman
they
for
did.
the TV show. But there was a white chick that played her before that. And she was smoking.
yeah. I don't remember.
I was
the
not
old,
surprised his hooker
Adam
girlfriend
West
skipped
one.
on him. Yeah, that was coming.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's good stuff.
Anyway, I found the tweet.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
so it's there's at the 30% stage in Zamil Akhtar's books, the action explodes and goes off the rails, and maybe one day they'll give a name like the
Brandon
Sanderson Avalanche, and I called it the Akhtartal wave. It's not very good, but he laughed.
It's funny.
There we go. I mean, yeah. The thing, you couldn't call it the Actavalanche
Yeah.
because that's already a thing, you know. That's
Yeah.
obviously the better pun. I tried to make it different. I tried. What can you say? What can you say?
It's all right. I think you overplayed how awesome that was.
He responded. He liked it. I made him cry laughing. Okay, that's a win.
He's a cool guy on social media.
Was it Julie Newmar? Now I got to look up pictures of Julie Newmar on the internet. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a nice cat lady.
Yep. I don't think we've had a bad Catwoman until Anne Hathaway.
You're wrong about that too.
I don't like Anne Hathaway. I think she looks fine. I don't think she's a good actress.
Yeah.
That's just me. I know I'm in the minority there.
Sorry. Someone was saying something about Julie.
Was that? Oh,
Oh,
I forgot Halle Berry played.
Yeah, that was a
that
pretty
one.
bad one.
That was a weird interpretation.
Again, looked nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Penguins have been good. I thought this was a weaker episode, even though it had some good stuff in it. Yeah, and I did like that they're setting them up in the sewers. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. We have
How many episodes do we
more
have left?
episodes, I think.
I think it's supposed to be 10 episode season, right?
Oh, okay.
I think it's
We got
Look up.
like halfway through.
Penguin episodes.
yeah. He remembered just in time. Oh, 8 episodes.
Okay, so 3 more.
3 more.
Because 6th one is coming out today.
This one's coming out right now, baby.
Yep.
Anything else to
3
mention
more of
about
it.
the show other than it's
yeah.
mostly good? Small complaints. I'm liking it. It's fun.
Yep.
I still can't believe it's. You can't. Colin Farrell.
Yeah, Colin Farrell is so freaking good in this role.
He's amazing.
I
He
can't
definitely
believe it.
needs to get an Oscar. But I think for TV shows, it's an
It's
Emmy.
an Emmy.
Yeah, it's an Emmy.
Yeah.
He needs to get an Emmy for sure.
Thanks to, I think it's Martin Scorsese or something. One of the big, I think it was Martin Scorsese that came out and like, TV shows are not
No, he was talking about,
deserving of.
he said Marvel movies aren't deserving of.
No, there was it might not have been Martin Scorsese, but one of the big directors of film downplayed TV series and said they're not worthy of winning awards or something because it's a different medium and it's not as difficult as making a film or something. Some nonsense.
Honestly, right now, I prefer TV to movies.
Yeah, me too.
You can do more with the genre. You know,
Yep.
it's the better way to adapt a book, for sure.
For sure, yeah. There's too much you got to cut out in
Oops.
movie
Sure,
adaptations these days. So, yeah, I agree. You don't have to. You can spread out your character arcs, your character development,
Yeah.
from episode to episode. You can just get more of it. So,
And then if it's a bad adaptation, you also get more of that.
yeah, that's true. Unfortunate.
Oh. So,
Yeah. Devil's Hour.
the Devil's Hour, baby.
We'll talk
gonna
about
be-
season 1 first.
Yeah,
What do you think about
only
season
Jared
one,
only
Jared?
just he finished season 1, so he'll have to peace out when we talk about season 2.
Yeah, yeah. And so Devil's Hour is I mean I
beautiful.
caught on
I-
pretty early.
I will
think,
take. I'm sorry. I will before you start. I will take no criticism.
no criticism. huh?
Yes.
None
Go on.
whatsoever. This is a flawless show.
Now go on.
Absolutely flawless.
Pretty dang close to flawless. I have a couple issues this season too, but
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we were saying.
Yeah, Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
So I caught on pretty early that it was some sort of like alternate reality or like another unit, right? Like they hinted that.
But it
A
is,
little
but
bit.
it isn't. You know, it's different. That's why I like it so much. It's not just there are infinite realities. It's a little bit different than that.
Yeah, it is, but that's essentially what it is.
It's a pretty big twist on
on the typical
on
genre.
infinite realities.
Yeah. But yeah, that being said, like the way that they did it,
Look, it's infinite realities mixed with Groundhog Day. Okay,
yeah,
that's freaking cool.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
yeah, that is a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it because, I mean that's the interesting thing, right? Is that like it's all about how you remember it, right? Like whether or not you remember those past lives or not, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I gotta say the story of the guy, the Devil's Hour dude, that they incarcerate, like it's a pretty good backstory.
Mhm.
He's so spooky.
Yeah.
Like his monologues,
Peter Capaldi.
and like being interrogated, and his just it's just so spicy. It's so
Yeah.
good. Peter Capaldi is my king.
Yeah, his delivery in the show is fantastic.
Yeah, he does a really good job, and his character's really well written. And I like his character a lot. The thing that's interesting though is it's like
Gideon is his name. Yeah.
yes, Gideon.
Yeah, Shepard.
It's interesting though to think about like their relationship because you have Gideon, and he. I mean, you a lot of the show you're like, okay, is he the bad guy? Yeah, he's probably the bad guy, but actually not a lot of the show because I think it's like halfway through the first season. So like what episode 3, you start to realize that the ones he's killing are the ones that are doing the killing, right? So you realize that he's trying to be, the good person by taking care of all of these horrible people, but at the same time, you see how her decisions are saving some of those people, and so the one that was really powerful, I gotta say, is the one where she saves the guy, saves the son, right? Because that's the thing, like, and I think that's kind of the big overlying message of this whole story is like, yes, they can be horrible people, but they're still people. They're still, brothers. They're still mothers and
Right.
fathers, and like they're still people. And when those people, like, who really should be saved, right? Like she's trying
Yeah.
to save the son, who she doesn't know is going to be the one that ends up killing somebody later on. So she saves him, but then he goes and kills the best friend of the cop, and you're like, oh crap, like that
That's
has
awful.
huge,
Yeah,
consequences.
and then you find the devil's lair, and he's got that guy chained to a chair with his eyes taped open, forcing him to watch bad stuff on repeat so that he gets
I forgot about
to
that.
recondition him so that he won't do those. Like, it's just nuts. It's friggin' nuts.
Yeah, and like and with that particular scene, I get it. Like it was an interesting idea, right? Where he's like to train.
You can tell he's trying. He's like, hey, look, this guy. This is a messed up guy. Might as well try. Maybe I could fix him. You know?
Yeah, right. but the part of that didn't make sense is that like he gets out, he escapes, right? The guy runs out, even though he's had this treatment done to him, but he still shoots him. So like, did that?
Well, because he wasn't done.
Or
he didn't finish. He got interrupted. The police found him before he could finish his treatment. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but still,
I don't think he knew if it was going to work. He was just going to try.
Yeah,
I know, but he didn't even let it work out. You know, like he didn't even let him say, "Okay."
Well, but there was that. There, I think there was that scene where he was talking to him and he realized that it wasn't working.
Maybe, I don't know, but for me, there was that little hiccup where I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense if he's trying this experiment and then he shoots him anyway, you know, at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, I mean, you tried it, I would have actually seen if it worked, but other than that, I did enjoy it. The actor that plays the kid is phenomenal.
Yeah,
at playing a kid with no feelings.
He's good.
Like, it's so well done. I like the whole relationship that you have, that Lucy and her son have. I also think it was really well done how they start to show Mike how he has those ideas, right? Like, it just starts with a little idea, be like, I could just get rid of this little punk kid that has no emotions, has no feelings. I could just ignore it and allow it to happen.
And lock him in his room as the house is burning down. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't even need to lock it, right? Like, he just closes the door, like.
Yeah.
But because his
Mike's
son
a scumbag, dude.
He is so terrible. The one scene that just was so well acted to, and I think we brought this up.
It's Jamie Tart, right? That's
that I love too. Every time I'm like,
Jamie Tart.
Whenever we were streaming this before, I think it was one of the episodes of some awful show. Either it was Willow or it was Rings of Power season 1 or something.
It was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time. We had to wait a long time.
This show got hit by both strikes.
But but we brought up the that's what it was. It was the Hulk. It was coming out as She-Hulk, the same time as She-Hulk, because I made the direct comparison about how She-Hulk had these male characters that were supposed to be these vile, sexist characters, just total douchebags, and they were written so terribly. It's like no one acts like that in real life. That line is like, oh, that's a pretty thing. Let me go talk to it. Or whatever.
Let me go talk to it. Yeah, I remember that.
Nobody talks like that. Like if
right. No one. Look. If they're gonna talk like that, you don't do it in front of other women.
Exactly.
Yeah. You do it in front of the boys and then go talk to it.
Right.
You don't shoot yourself in the foot before you shoot your shot.
Right. And I brought up this show how well her husband is written.
He is so well written.
Such a freaking slimy douchebag. That's how you write it.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's that balance. Like, you want your villains to be understandable, but not relatable. Like, so, like, you get it. You get, like, you understand where he's coming from. Like, he's just so tired of having to deal with this messed up kid, and like you can see, like, that's got to be tough. I can't condone your actions.
Exactly.
But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's written so well. And the one scene that we compared was that scene where you think, oh, maybe he's trying to be a good father now. And it's like, oh yeah, we went out for some ice cream. It was great. And then I'm like, oh yeah, maybe you're trying to be a good person. And then she leaves the room and like, if your mom asks, we got ice cream. I'm like, oh my God, you freaking scumbag.
Yeah.
So
It's
good. If your mom
man.
asks, we went out for ice cream.
Yeah,
Oh.
I agree. Because you're like, oh yeah, okay, this guy's like he's trying, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like you're like, okay, he's trying. He wants to be there for his kid. You know, he's seen the error of his ways, and he wants to come back and fix things. And then yeah, he says stuff like that, and you're like, oh man,
But
you're not helping.
That's how you write a terrible douchebag loser of a man character. You know, that's how you write them. But anyways, it was
Well, yeah, and then you can see that in the hesitancy as he's going for the handle, right? Like he's like,
right.
is this what I want to do? Like, no, like, do I still care for him? He is my son. But then he's like, no,
Or I could just leave him. I could just leave him to burn down in this house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
So
I mean, not good, but so well
so,
written.
It's
well
well
written.
done. It's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
So bad. Very bad. Don't kill kids.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. But yeah, so well. And another thing that is fantastic about this show, and it even is just gets exponentially better with season 2, is it's so well crafted and laid out. There are hints in episode 1 that
Don't get paid off until season 2.
yeah, it's so freaking good. I thought it was well, you know, how well they paid off some of the things they laid the groundwork in just in season 1.
Yeah.
And then season 2 just oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
how-
that. Oh, that's what okay.
So freaking amazing. Like a quick example is the mom, right? She keeps saying,
Oh, I was
I'm
gonna
not
bring her up
supposed to
to
be
you.
here. I'm not supposed to be here. And the kid is like, or no, the kid says, I'm not supposed to be here. And the mom
Yeah.
says, me too. Because they're both not supposed to be there. The mom
Neither
is
of them.
supposed to
Yeah,
have
the mom should be
committed
dead, and the
suicide,
kid shouldn't exist.
and
Yeah.
the kid shouldn't be born. It's so, and it's just
Yeah.
a throwaway line that they just keep putting there, and then you realize, holy crap, there's a reason for every decision that's made in the show.
The one I'm actually curious because you just watched season 1. I don't remember how relevant it was in season 1, but there is a family of there's a family that Gideon
that moved in?
that Gideon saves. Like they were supposed to be in a car accident,
Oh yeah.
and the daughter is important to season 2.
Yeah.
But I forget how much we knew about her from season 1 because it's been 3 years since I watched it.
So basically how it worked is she
He stopped the car crash.
She stops the car crash, and then she starts to realize. So basically, he helps her wake up and see.
Right? Why
she's had these other
did
lives.
did it say why he helped her wake up, or
just because she had seen some of that stuff kind of already in her life.
okay? So she was starting to slip.
Because-
She was starting to slip naturally, and he decided, okay, the best thing to do is to wake her up completely so that she can manage it.
Yeah, because the thing that I noticed is that
Okay. I
essentially what
just couldn't
happened
remember
is-
his motivation for waking her up.
Yeah, because so when he saved Julie's mom, right, the same thing happened, right? So whoever he
Right.
saves, they kind of get these flickers of their past lives.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
then-
worse for some people than others. You know,
Yeah, and then that's
some
and then
people
that's
can just
when-
move on with it.
Yeah, the girl, he said the girl just never felt right after that. Like she never felt like things were right, and so then he just reached out to her, or she reached out to him. No, I think he reached out to her and
found her a secluded house on the beach where she can just be alone and not see
Yeah.
any ghosts. I
Yeah,
love
and
I love
he
that
said
ghost.
that
I love
she'd
you
always
think,
go
oh,
back
this is
there.
a ghost story. The whole time you're like, oh, they're seeing ghosts. No, they're seeing
Other reality.
they're seeing the people who are supposed to be living in the house that you now own
Yeah.
because your life is like, oh,
Yeah.
it's
That
so
was really
unique. It's such a unique. If you're not watching this show, you gotta watch The
And,
Devil's Hour.
Again, the way they lay those little breadcrumbs, though, it just gives you a little teeny bit at a time, and you know the little flower toy that is in their house. That
Well,
he-
just the flower
kid
toy.
keeps talking about.
or just the Devil's Hour in general.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like the fact that she wakes up
at
every night
3:33.
at 3:33 and doesn't know why, and then you find out, oh, that's when her mom killed herself,
Yeah.
and she woke up as a child because she heard the gunshot and came downstairs and saw her dead mom,
Yeah.
and then Gideon goes and saves her, stops that from happening, but she's still waking up at 3:33. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. When you found that part out, I was like, oh, that's beautiful.
It's
Like,
it's
beautiful
brilliant.
writing. It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Oh, and then the other thing about it, and I don't remember. I think they did this a little bit in
Yeah,
season one.
the
but,
flowers were really fun. The whole the different family living in the house was really fun.
because they came
'Cause
around.
they were
and
the-
said,
that
we,
was the
we
hou-
were looking at your house before you bought it. We almost bought
Yeah.
it, but then you bought it instead.
Well,
and
you were
then
gonna.
They're
Yep.
yeah. In the other timeline, they did buy the house. So, Mark.
Is it as good as Raised by Wolves?
I think this is
Okay,
better
that's
than Raised by
a
Wolves.
hard that's a hard question to ask. I think
I'd
if
say
Raised
better.
by Wolves was allowed to finish, I mean nothing, it would have been amazing.
The thing about Raised by Wolves is it was so weird.
So good.
Yeah, there was so
Yeah.
much.
Okay, equally
Yeah.
unique. Both like this is
I think this is more traditionally. It's. I think Devil's Hour is a wonderful spin on a traditional narrative.
it's
of
an
multiple
it's an
realities.
ingenious
But-
spin. It takes
Yeah,
the traditional narrative and throws it puts it in the blender and mixes it up and adds pomegranate for some reason, and you're like, I don't know, like this is nowhere. You think you're getting something traditional, and that's absolutely not what you're getting with
You're right.
with Devil's Hour. With Raised by Wolves, you know from the first episode, okay, this is going to be freaky. Okay,
And it being
hard
a
to compare.
sci-fi, it being a sci-fi,
Also completely
it
different
opens
genre,
the door
too.
to a lot more, where it's like, hey,
That's
this could
true.
be something that we have.
but
we have,
none of you were expecting Snake Baby. Okay,
yeah, that
no.
was just because it's sci-fi. And
It
it's
was
like
so
what-
good.
like,
Oh, I missed Raised by Wolves. Still makes me so sad. So shame on you for bringing it up.
Anyways,
in my
Such a
opinion,
missed
it's
opportunity,
much
man.
better. It's much better than Raised by Wolves, in my opinion.
yeah.
And
For
what the worst part about Raised by Wolves is we know that there is an ending.
yeah, because he planned out 5 seasons, right?
Okay,
Or 5
we
or 6.
know that there is an ending that we will never get, and it's not a show that like, oh, we could have ended it good if it kept going, but we hadn't written it yet. No, there are answers, and they will never be public.
Well, I don't know. I hope we get them in a
Comic
book
books or something. I
or
don't
a comic, graphic novel or something, because it was too good not
So
to be
good.
told, right?
Yeah, just
Anyway,
write a
but
book.
back to-
Just write a book, man. I got it.
Yeah.
It's your series was too freaking good.
Yeah, I think it would be a killer graphic novel adaptation.
But yeah, we know that there's going to be a season 3 for the Devil's Hour.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to end there? Easily could. It could have ended with season 1. It could have ended with season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, season
I
2
will
a little bit
happily
less,
accept
though.
more.
But yeah,
I miss Mother.
mommy,
Mark.
come back to me, mommy.
I miss Mommy too. Okay,
And we
Not
got
as
to
much
see
as
her
Daddy,
father,
though.
we did. We got a
Father
little bit. We got a little bit of Daddy. We got
Yeah.
some. We got some House of the Daddies. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
Has she been in? Has she been in anything else?
I haven't
Since
seen
then?
her in anything,
I'll look it up. You guys talk.
but I think
Now,
I don't know if I'd recognize her in anything though, because she
right? Because you're
she had a look
shaved
in-
head in this one,
But yeah, oh, man, Devil's Hour, so
dude.
freaking
She
good.
looks good with long hair. Too. She looks great.
What's let's see, Raised by Wolves.
She was in a movie with what's his name? Mads Mikkelsen. I don't.
Oh,
It's a German movie, so I don't know.
cast.
She hasn't been in anything huge. She hasn't been in anything big since Raised by Wolves. It's
Oh, yeah,
a
the
shame.
Promised Land, huh?
But Is it good? Is it
Yeah.
as good? I would say it's as good. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit better
You
than
know,
Raised by Wolves.
it's hard to it's hard to compare because they're different genres, but
Right.
it's
But I think
equally enjoyable. I'm
See,
enjoying the heck out
the
of
thing
it.
about Raised by Wolves is again, it was crazy, it was out off the wall, and it had so many questions, and it answered most of those questions, but it also raised a lot of more questions. This one, I think, is more self-contained.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
I
know.
said, season one was so good, it could have ended there.
I
It-
think, I mean,
but
Raised by Wolves
I
really
don't know.
does. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like behind the scenes where, like, if you just pay attention a little bit, like,
Yeah,
it answers
it answered
80% of the questions.
it answers
Like,
a
it's like
surprisingly large number
like
of questions.
this is
but still, at the
this
end,
is
you're
just
like, what
it's like
the
a big
crap is
cycle,
going
right?
on?
Like that's how Adam and Eve existed on Earth. Like they were robots that got sent to Earth. You literally see the picture in that cave drawing. It's so cool. But I miss that show.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to bring up with season one. Jared, is there any other things you want to bring up?
No, I think that's pretty much it. It's really good, and I've enjoyed it. So I am looking forward to season 2. I
Yeah.
was telling Alan that I kind of
It's only
skimmed
five.
the first
It's only
episode.
5 episodes. Season 1 is only 6 episodes. This one's 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's not even like a big commitment. Just watch the show.
yeah.
But yeah, you sorry,
So
I
good.
interrupted you.
no, but I mean they are kind of long. I mean they're all about an hour, and
They're
so
15-minute episodes.
yeah. So it's not like they're any longer than any other show, but like they're good, and they definitely don't. I didn't feel like they ended too soon or left you too much on a cliffhanger, and
Yeah.
I think that
There's no filler.
Absolutely.
yeah, and you get just enough information.
Everything is there for a reason.
Yeah,
And then when you get to season 2, they're there for multiple reasons. You're like,
yeah. I was just telling Alan though that I felt like I
You
skimmed the
yeah,
first
you
episode
skimmed.
real quick.
You got excited and skimmed through the first episode of season 2.
Yeah, so I was just like, hey, what do I have to look forward to in season 2? And I skimmed through the first episode, and I saw that it was the cop. So she was now a cop, and I was like, okay, so this is another thing that she's like remembering, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, you thought it was
the-
you thought it was her next life. It's not.
well,
Yeah,
well,
it's-
because it shows her like flickering between the two, so
Yeah.
it would have to be something that she's remembering. So either it's an alternate life that they're like, I mean, I guess the way that he explained it is they're not really going on simultaneously, but like next to each
not,
other.
but
It's a loop.
part of
Time-
it is.
Yeah,
It's
kind of
it's the
both.
Wheel of Time, baby. This is the urban fantasy version of the Wheel of Time.
Kind of, yeah.
yeah. So
Time
I
time is a
was,
circle.
I was just thinking that it's got to be just another version of it. I wasn't sure where it was, if it was in front or behind.
It
her.
was the previous.
another
It was her
version.
previous life.
It was the previous
that
life.
she was
But
remembering.
so
And-
episode 1 is brilliant because it kind of
It does
kind of
do what you were
summarizes
saying because
the
you
entire
said
first
he
season.
mentioned off camera. I'm worried that the second season is just going to be repeat, but from a different perspective.
No.
Yeah.
Which that is episode one.
that
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I skimmed
But
it
it's
and
good.
I was like, oh no.
No, it's really good. You're watching it and you're like, oh, things just start clicking. And you're like, yes.
And then it picks up from there. The episode 1 is the only episode that is it's the only episode that's really rehashing stuff from from season 1. There's other stuff that tie in greatly, but yeah, it was fascinating. Episode 1 is amazing because it's her previous life, but it ties in with things, and you realize the reason for things in season 1.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
reason
oh,
why
that's
she's
really,
not,
really good.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. So yeah, anyway, I liked it. If you guys are going to continue, I can jump off and let you guys talk about
Yeah, we'll
it.
get
we will
and
continue.
we'll get into
because I have
spoilers
things
and
to
we'll get
say.
into it again next week when you finish because you're gonna have to vent.
Yep.
You're gonna have to talk to somebody about what you just witnessed.
All
That's
right.
good. Go away.
All right.
Bye,
See you
Jared.
next week. Is there any extra? No, it's just the Penguin next week. So
Okay. There
And
better
yeah,
be a lot of
I'll
news, or it's
finish
going to be a
off
short
talking
show.
about it too, so.
But the Venom 3's coming out soon.
The trailers don't look bad for that one. I don't know.
They look the same as the other ones that I never bothered watching.
The first, I haven't seen the second one yet, which maybe there's
That was
something to
alright.
say about that. But I really liked the first one. It was fun.
I was a big fan of the second one just because I've always loved Carnage, and
Yeah.
they heavily focused on Carnage in that one, and so I enjoyed it. But
Nice.
We're getting
I really wanted to see it, but I
As
didn't
soon-
have a way to.
as
stream
soon as like we're set for a while. Like as soon as the Penguin ends, we get Dune Prophecy weekly and Silo 2
I was gonna say Silo 2's coming up, so
and
I'm
Arcane,
really looking
and then
up-
when those all end, we get Severance in next year. So
Man, we are set.
I know, like we
Yeah.
got the programming in the bag, baby.
And we had to deal with Rings of Power. Do we have
Wheel
to
of Time.
deal with? Do we have to deal with Wheel of Time this year? Or was that last year? I don't
That
even
was-
remember.
That was last year.
So yeah, we had to deal with the Rings of Power, but man,
We got some treats. We
we
gotta
got good stuff.
treat yourself, baby. But there is a Doctor Who Christmas special. So
Oh no! All
cheers.
awesome.
right, bye, Jared.
All right, enjoy it. But
Right. Okay. So all the things we hate about Jared. He's just so stinky. Season 2 is great.
Okay, season 2 is so fantastic, bro. Oh my gosh, I
So the-
cannot believe the things that they have set up in season 1 that just pay off doubly.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Um,
and half the time it's not even like a big revelation too. It's not
Yeah,
even like, oh, this is a huge twist. It's just like,
The
oh,
way that they
that
connect
puzzle
things,
piece fits here.
Yeah.
Like it did.
a perfect fit.
There was never like a moment in season 2 where like my mind was blown. Where it was like, boom! Like this was
Right.
so cool. It was literally just
makes
putting
sense.
together. It was literally like putting together a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
And
it's so
it's
satisfying.
it's so just reserved. It goes, hey, here's this. Here's the next piece, and you're just like, you just start to see the picture, and you're like,
Yeah,
this show is wonderful.
it's so good. I love it. I don't know. I don't know what I want to talk about first.
Okay,
Or,
here's the thing. The one thing I was afraid they were going to do the whole time, and what I really hope they don't do in season 3, is the bomber can't be the kid.
yes,
That it
And
would just
I
be
think-
too obvious, and
Right.
and
and I think there's reasons why he can't.
it would be a
do it.
bad choice.
I agree.
It wouldn't make sense. She's
I was
done
worried
such
they
a
were gonna
good.
do that
She's
too.
done such a good job trying to raise this kid to deal with his situation.
Yeah.
It would just be a
make
really
no sense.
bummer of a story and go against like the good, like the kid's. He's a good kid, you know.
Yeah.
It would go against what the show has set up for a cheap twist to make the kid the killer.
Yeah.
What I hope is happening is that the killer also has some time powers,
Yes,
and that's why the reason why it's so hard to catch
heavily
him
implied that
is
way,
because he is in
He
the
has-
same loop.
Yep.
Because otherwise, what's the point of the story?
Exactly.
That's the thing. Multiple realities, the stakes go out the window, and this show is brilliant. It says, hey, it's crazy. We could just kill ourselves and start over. Spoilers, that's what they do.
Yep.
But it sets up stakes, right? It's not. This isn't like a Rick and Morty where like we can just try again, find a new universe, start over. It's like if we mess up, it could all be over. If we like, there are stakes, right? If we get taken alive, they put us on meds and we forget, and then we forget.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think
Really good
think
job
the reason-
of balancing that line of just throwing all stakes out the window
right.
and keeping your attention,
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that was really
keeping you invested in the story. Like 'cause otherwise, yeah, let's just reset right now.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
and the fact that she has a kid, well, if I reset, I abandon him.
right. Exactly. And he only existed in that one reality.
Yeah.
How was he going
If she
to
resets again,
right?
is she gonna
So-
give birth? Is she gonna make the same? Is she gonna sleep with the same douchebag so that she can get him back? But
Right.
I think, and what they set up with the last shot of the show with her appearing, I
Yep.
think she just goes. She
yeah,
just does.
Reality.
She doesn't. she just is going to jump into that reality and steal him, or steal him back.
That's what it sounds
when
like
she
too.
gets to that point, you know.
Yeah. So
I hope that's what we're doing.
I hope so too, and I think I hope that they're setting that up as a red herring of him being the bomber, because it's right now it's kind
It would
of
be
like,
stupid. It would be so
it would be a
stupid.
very stupid decision. I agree with you.
It would be cheap. It would just
And
it would be
unfulfilling,
bad.
right.
It would be
Yeah,
icky.
exactly. I agree with you 100%.
What it could be is maybe someone that that Gideon accidentally woke up. You know,
Exactly.
but it is someone he saved, and it woke him up and he went psycho.
Yes, I
Right?
hope that's the case. And
Because
I hope it's also
otherwise,
someone that we've seen in the background too, but we haven't focused on him because he's just
Right.
Oh yeah, he did this thing, which changed this thing, which saved this guy. But
right.
anyway,
Otherwise, what's the goal, right? Like if we can
Right.
just keep doing this forever, we can Groundhog Day it until we get the perfect day and we save everyone's lives.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a interesting show, right?
Right.
If we can just keep trying until we get it perfect, there are no stakes.
yeah,
And so
the reasons
like
why
the
I
fa-
think-
if the bomber is also awake, it makes it so much more
agree.
spicy. It explains why, even because this isn't the only attack that he does, right? His first bomb is the toy store, and then they've mentioned like a couple times, and what comes after, there's more.
right,
It's insane that no one ever caught him. That Gideon couldn't just wait until the police catch him so he gets a name and then goes and
Yeah.
offs him in a crib, right? I love how they brought that up too. It's like, are you just gonna kill him as a baby? I've never killed any babies.
yeah, I love how defensive he is about his murders, right?
Such a good character.
He's such a good bad character. It's amazing. But yeah, I agree with you. I think I hope that's the way that they're going, and I hope, and I have, I believe that they're setting that up as a red herring that he's going to be the kid, but he's not really.
And that's the way you can end the show, you know, and that would be the best way to frame the show as well,
Yes.
right? Like if you're just like, hey, let's get a perfect ending and then end on that. But if the goal is we have to get rid of the monster that we created,
Yes. Exactly.
then once it's done, it's like, okay, let's leave the rest to chance. You know, like
Right.
we can save people if we can, but what's the point of life if it never ends? You know.
Yes. Exactly. And I'm hoping that's how it is going to end ultimately, either in
That's
season
how I
3
would
or
write
whatever. They finally take out the bomber that they can't catch the whole time, and then they're like, okay, we're done, we're good. We do the drugs or whatever, so we don't remember our next life until this whole loop ends or whatever. I hope that's the way it ends. And the reason why I think that it's a red herring and it's not going to be the kid.
Well, because we saw the scene with the future kid, right? And he's like, "Hey, why'd you kill my mom?"
Exactly.
You're like, well,
So it's implied too. So Jared brought up that it's not parallel lives; it's one life and its future.
no,
life. But
this is a linear show. It's
It
linear.
kind of is both, because
Except for the kid.
can jump between the two different realities that are
Yes.
not happening simultaneously, but are for him, which is weird and amazing at the same time.
And I absolutely knew that they were going to use that to get out of the arrest. I was like,
Yes.
and they could have been.
Yeah.
The show almost shoots itself in the foot. Like that could have been this is blowing my mind moment, but it's not, because the show is so well written and so set up that you can tell what they're going to do before they do it.
Yeah.
And it's
still
it's not a
satisfying.
letdown in any way. It's still
Yeah.
satisfying, but you don't get the, oh my goodness, you just blew my mind with that crazy twist. You're just like, yes, you did the thing that I want you to do. Good job.
But another reason why it either can't be the kid that's the bomber, or it's going to be really stupid if it is the bomber, is because of the parallel life living back and forth.
Right.
When Gideon is older in prison, it's the kid is older, right? So unless there's some sort of time travel in addition to, or he's not living these lives linearly, he can't be the bomber.
The kid still ages. Yeah. He would have to go back. You're right. It was stupid. It would be really stupid.
Yeah, I really, really hope that's not what they're going to do. But so the other thing that they have to answer in future seasons is all that we know. Like you said, they've hinted at further things, but all we know for sure is that this guy did the bomb in the toy store and killed 11 kids and a couple other people. And it just seems like, okay, why is Gideon dedicating not his entire life, but all of his lives?
There are plenty of other bad
right?
things that happen.
Exactly.
Why are we just focused on this one?
Yeah, so that's something that I hope they answer. And again, like you said, they've hinted at it, but it seems kind of weird right now with the information that we've been given that he's so focused on stopping this one dude
on 6 deaths, you know.
Kills
17 wounded, 6 dead.
I thought it was 11 kids that were dead.
I can't remember.
But anyway,
maybe 11.
It's terrible that 11 kids died, but it's
9/11 also happened. You know, like
right,
why didn't he stop that? Yeah.
Something else, but the
timeline. He probably could have stopped 9/11.
Yeah,
they didn't come from the United States.
Yeah,
just saying
it's something that he keeps on killing.
I mean, unless it was Bush.
Yeah. He could have stopped that too, but anyways,
he could have stopped Bush. He just kills Bush in his crib.
Yeah. But
don't you dare do 9/11.
But yeah, I hope that's where they're going with this.
Such a fun
This
show.
person has time powers, and I think it's implying that too because he's trying to get a videotape of his face, and he kind of halfway turns, and then he
knows where not to go. He's avoiding Gideon so well.
It's heavily implied that this guy, whoever he is, has time powers too.
And he waits for he knows Gideon's going to follow him down there, and he comes up from behind and hits him in the back of the head. Like it's
good.
It's spicy.
So, that being said, this season is amazing. It just ups the ante from the other season. Things make so much more sense. It's amazing. I love it. I love the direction they're going. Super excited for season 3 whenever it comes around. I do have a couple complaints. One, it's implied in the previous episode, and Jared brought it up, that Gideon woke up this other chick that's living on this farmhouse, and he woke up the main character by altering their life in a huge way, saving
but then also interacting directly with that person and talking to
My problem with it is this season they wake up so many more people, and indirectly, like they don't interact with Gideon directly.
The therapist,
she is waking up
and
her husband Rav and the therapist.
Right, but I think it also has to be. It's going to work for this lifetime. They're going to start seeing glimpses, but once they reset, they're going to forget all that because it also has to be tied to like a significant change in your past, right? Like Gideon. Gideon's past is horrific, right? And he changes that, and
which is why it was a little bit, and same thing with her. It was horrific. We're seeing her mom get murdered, and then
no one went into the no one went and strangled the therapist's lover,
right? Exactly,
to wake her up, right?
So that was my one complaint: is the therapist and Rav get woken up conveniently for plot reasons, and it is good. It made sense, but. It just seemed kind of like, okay, well, why?
And the lesbian policeman as well.
Oh yeah, her too.
She was worthless. Like she finds them, right? She follows her to the cabin. This was my one complaint. Is she follows main character to the cabin and walks in, and Gideon is there.
Yeah.
The mass murderer, and he just leaves and goes upstairs.
And
she's worried about the girl.
Handcuff her,
she's worried about the girl, not the mass murderer.
No
and you're like, are you a policeman or an idiot?
Yeah.
Or was this a DEI hire? Is that why? Like,
yeah. I also think
she was
it's hilarious that.
The teacher is a douche.
Yeah.
That teacher lady is interfering with like how could she not possibly have the context for this? The kid is in her class. She knows the kid's messed up.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's like, I'm going to rat out this mom for being the thing that was suspicious is that the kid got bit by a dog.
And
like any other, like maybe if he had bruises and she said he fell down the stairs, that would be suspicious. He got bit by how on earth is that the mom's fault that the kid got bit by a dog? I hated that teacher.
Even that too, but that would be easily verifiable, right?
Right.
He did go to the hospital with the friend. The friend was there. There were witnesses.
Hey, teacher, leave our kids alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's no way that the kid would be in that class without like sitting the teacher down. Hey, my kid's messed up. He's going to therapy. Like she's already talked to her. Like, yeah, he's special, right?
Yeah.
That was a little. I mean, maybe it was
Right.
believable, and that's why it pissed me off. Is that teachers are scumbags, you know, and that they would meddle. Yeah, it was probably realistic, and so it's probably good that I hated her.
Yeah.
And not like a fault of the show for being true to life.
Yeah. Another thing that was hilarious is, coming from the United States of America and watching the show, it's funny how inept these police are. He gets in trouble.
Just give one of these policemen a gun, and all of their problems would be solved.
Exactly.
Come on,
like you have a taser in your glove compartment? Is that allowed? Or like,
well, and especially the scene in the first episode of season 2, right, where she catches the psycho killer, and she doesn't have any way to defend herself. This poor helpless lady almost gets murdered by this psycho madman because Britain is so retarded that they take away your firearms and your freedom of speech.
There was another show too. There was another British show that I was like puzzling what the heck was going on, and like, oh yeah, I realized that they don't carry police. Yeah, there was a
even
car
the police don't get guns, man.
There was a car that was with a gunner inside or something, and they had to wait for more police to get there with the guns. And I'm like, there's already police there. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was the scene halfway through the season when the mom digs up the shotgun. I was like, and she's like, "Look, we have this that we can use now." And they're like, "Oh, why don't you just go to the store?" Oh, right, because you can't just buy a gun. Yeah. Why did you have to dig up this gun that was buried 100 years ago, through your synaptic memories? Oh no, it's because England sucks.
Yeah. So, anyways,
fun show,
different cultures. Fun. But yeah, so good. There was another thing I was going to bring up. I forgot what it was.
We'll talk about season 3 in another 3 years.
Yeah,
and the kid didn't look like he aged that much, though. That's the thing.
In the future scene?
No, in between seasons 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's older.
Yeah,
but I think they filmed this quite a while ago.
Yeah,
and I hope that. I mean, I guess they could pretty easily write in a time jump between 2 and 3, but no, because then they're trying to catch the killer in real time too. So the kids has to be the same age.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's a toughie.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough to film. I don't know.
He's gonna keep getting older.
Yeah,
you got it. I don't see how unless if they're continuing this same plot and not moving on. I mean, you couldn't possibly fit in a season 4 unless you're moving on to future events,
Yeah. And it can't, they're trying to stop this particular bombing.
Yeah.
So unless they move on to the next bombing event and just consider this one a wash or something, then.
Or they stop him from doing this one.
Yeah.
But they don't catch him.
They don't catch him. There you go. They could do that. Man.
I mean, they'd have to do something because the kid's gonna get older.
Yeah, but it's such a good season. I'm trying to remember the last thing I wanted to bring up. Another very small nitpick. I don't remember what it was. Must have been not that big a deal.
Who was the black family? They were watching
living in their house.
The one they were watching the kid when he got bit by the dog.
Right.
I don't know who they were.
I think
were they in season 1? I need to rewatch season 1.
Yeah, I think they were the family that.
It's a completely different family.
No,
maybe it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's the same family, and the girl aged and the kid didn't.
Maybe yeah.
Because that could be the same girl. I'll have to rewatch because I had no idea who they were.
Because they ended up. Being friends, I think in the second season, or the first
but
season,
also, why would a random family you're neighbors with just adopt your kid when you die, when you murder suicide yourself?
Yeah, I mean they're neighbors. They watched
but
kid.
I guess she doesn't have any
In
family.
season 1, they didn't move into their house, but they moved into a neighboring
They
house.
were the
right?
neighbors.
I think so, yeah.
Well, the girl,
The girl looks
very
very different,
visibly aged between seasons, and the kid looks the same.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I'm pretty sure they're their neighbors that in the other reality they moved into their house, but they didn't
Even the
care,
people look
and
differently
they
though.
became friends and babysat their kid, watched them, and they felt guilty about letting him getting bit by a dog, so kind of adopts him. But yeah, I guess that is.
What if I just
Stretch,
it's
but-
such a fun show. I want
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, it was very good. I can't think of the last thing I want to bring up, so I think that's it.
If we could just, you know, comic books. Even look,
My son came. We got him an action Bible. It's basically the Bible as a graphic novel,
oh cool.
and he just came to tell me that he finished the Old Testament. Now he's in the New Testament for his comic book. So.
The significantly less exciting testament. Yeah. Here's the thing. The show they have two options. They can end on season 3 and just be perfect.
Yeah.
Or they can take the show 15 seasons and it just becomes a buddy cop show. But with Peter Capaldi and the lady, and they're just solving crimes, and it turns into an average show. But I'd still watch the heck out of it because
I want it to be wrapped up with the rebuttal, though. I want it to be 3, maybe 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And be a nice, succinct package. Yeah.
Do they have a graphic novel for the Book of Mormon?
They do. They don't
they're-
have. They didn't complete the whole thing. It's not finished yet. But there are
I know-
projects of.
I know there are a couple different ones, but I do know one that is in production that someone I know is helping write, and
Nice.
I think it'll be really good. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much I can say legally. he might have broken contract telling me about it. I don't know. You don't know who.
Is this one of the existing projects?
I'm not going to say anything else.
Sorry.
It's it's a brand new. It's its own thing.
Okay. Yes, Smart Clock. There are adaptations. So.
There are definitely some of the stories, but I don't think there's one for the whole Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's it. Next week we'll just talk about Penguin, and we'll probably also talk about the Devil's Hour again with Jared, because he'll have watched the whole season 2. Because I couldn't stop.
Yeah. It was, we watched like the first 2 episodes last week, and then I think we watched the last 3 episodes in one night this week because it was really good.
Yeah.
Blink your eyes in Morse code.
I mean, if we are here next week, if my wife doesn't pop early, right? She's being induced on Monday, not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. And she's technically due that Friday. She's being induced early, but hey, we're within the window. There might not be a show next Sunday.
Yeah.
And if there isn't, without you know what happened. Thoughts on Tulsa King? I watched season 1. It was a couple months ago. It was well after season 1. Season 2 has just started, right? Or it's in currently going, or it just ended. I know it was recent. I know people were excited about season 2. Maybe it's not out yet. Season 1 was really fun. It's no like Breaking Bad. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but it's worth watching for sure. It's good.
Hey.
It's good pulp, You couldn't wait until after the election to have the kid. Why would I wait till after the election?
No, after the next year for the tax break.
Nah.
Or no, you want to do it? That's the opposite.
Yeah, I want a tax break this year.
Yeah.
I want more taxes.
Yeah, I don't know why that would matter, Mark. Bearded's been busy. He's finishing his house in California, and he's looking for a better job. So
Yep.
he's been busy.
And I'm going to be busy this week too, but then I'll have lots of free time. Well, not a lot of free time. I'll have lots of downtime where I can watch TV shows. I don't know how many videos I can make because I'll be watching 3 girls. So,
Yep.
anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
We'll see you guys next week talking about Penguin, episode 7, unless we don't see you next week. And, yeah. It's a crazy time. Thanks for watching the show. It's been super fun. Mark Clark's great. Hussein, it's fun. Haven't seen you in the streams before, or you were watching last week too when we were talking about Devil's Hour. I'm exhausted. Sorry. Next week will be fun. Anything else, David?
Nope.
If it's a boy,
I'm trying to get a playthrough video of a spooky show, hopefully for Halloween, but we'll see.
It's a girl. We already know it's a girl. So she shall be named Amelia, probably. I wanted to name her Xochitl. Because it's an Aztec name, but apparently I'm not technically Mexican enough to pull that off. So
that was vetoed pretty hard.
My wife said I could do it, but she floated the idea by too many people, and they're like, "Really? Zoe? No, okay, probably Amelia." So, see you guys next week, maybe.
Bye.
It's a cliffhanger. Okay, bye.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.